Not only does this Zemismart 3-gang smart switch work really well, but it's also very attractive looking as well. And it works great using your voice assistant, as me and Google will now demonstrate for you, using my smart door. Hey Google, turn on switch number 3. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hello and welcome to my channel, and I hope you like today's video. If you like smart home and automotive technology content, then hit that subscribe button, because most of the time, this is what you're going to see on this channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing and installing this 3-gang smart switch from Zemismart. I've been experimenting with this smart switch over the last few days, and I'm really impressed with it. One of my favourite things about it are the beautiful, soft and springy design switches themselves. Seriously, these are some of the nicest switches I have ever used. When testing this device, I just could not stop pressing these switches. They feel that nice and comfortable, and they are also very light in weight when you touch them as well. And while I'm speaking about the design of it, I mean, just look at it. Is it just me, or is this one very elegant looking switch? I love this frameless glass panel design, which also makes it very easy to clean as well. And when we turn it over, look at the strong, robust design of it. It looks tough and such a high quality build, and it is. That fixing plate, by the way, it's steel. This particular switch I have, Zemismart call their K6 model, and it does require a neutral wire to use it. However, Zemismart can also supply a non-neutral wire version of the smart switch as well. And not only that, they can also supply 1-gang, 2-gang and 3-gang versions of it also. So as we can see, this smart switch is powered up by mains voltage, and it can work on 110 to 240 volts AC. The outputs are all rated at 16 amps max. These beautiful switches here are also long lasting as well. They are said to have a lifespan of 1.5 million presses. Now that's pretty impressive, especially if you're comparing it to other smart switches. And yes, when you look at it, it has 3 switches, 1, 2, 3. But remember, this is a smart switch, so that means each switch can be set up to do 2 separate operations. If you have never used a smart switch before and are sitting there looking confused, don't worry, I'll be demonstrating that to you later on. It is also 2-year and HomeKit supported, and not only that, it also supports dual system control as well. So you can use both of these platforms to control it. And yes, I'm serious, but unfortunately, I don't have HomeKit set up to experiment with this, so I'm going to have to do something about that at a later date. So, while it can of course be controlled using the app, it does also support Alexa and Google. Hey Alexa, what do you think about this?
Well, hello there my beautiful. Now that's one very good looking smart switch indeed. Actually, do you know what?
What?
I think I might be falling in love.
Okay, well I suppose that's understandable, Alexa. Hey Google, what do you think of it?
Well, it seems as always, Alexa was right once again. I mean, it is very pretty looking. It could be described as the Cinderella of all smart switches. It is going to look great set up here in our office as well. But how does it work?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, Google, because that's exactly what everybody else watching will be wanting to know as well. So in a few minutes, I will install it and set it up and put that question to the test. Now, I will just point out that this smart switch does also have little LED lights built into the front of the switches as well, which is what these little circles here are for. This makes finding the switch at night easy, and it also adds to the stylish design of it as well, in my opinion. On the back of the switch, we have 5 connections: L, which is our live wire input, N, which is our neutral wire input, and L1, L2, and L3, which are the outputs where we need to connect the other devices to, that we want to turn on and off with the switch, if we want to. Now, what do I mean when I say if we want to? Obviously you have to connect the devices to the L1, L2 and L3 outputs, or it won't work. No, that is actually not true. Remember, this is a smart controlled switch, and if you don't want to, you don't have to use any of the L1, L2 and L3 outputs at all. And in today's video, that's exactly how I will be setting this up. I will not be using any of these outputs whatsoever. Now, I bet a lot of you are looking really confused right now, and that's perfectly understandable because a lot of people don't understand how a smart switch works. But keep watching, because in today's video, I'll show you exactly how a smart switch works. Okay, now it's time to get the installation started. But what am I going to be using the smart switch for? As you can see up here on my wall, I have 3 switches, and they are all smart switches. However, things are starting to look cluttered, so I'm going to replace both of these switches with the Zemismart smart switch. This switch up here is my Zemismart wave switch, which I use to turn my lights on and off by just waving my hand in front of it. You can also see the review for this on my channel as well, if you're interested in this device. With this smart switch here, I'm actually only using one of the switches, which turns on and off my hallway light. And lastly, this switch here, I use to control my smart door from inside my office. So that's really important, as I use this switch several times a day. So I'm going to be using one of the switches here on my Zemismart smart switch to open and close my smart door, another switch to turn on and off my hallway light, and the third switch I'll be using to control my brand new table lamp. As you can see, I've just installed a brand new lamp over my table to make things brighter, but at the moment the only way I can control it is by using either Alexa, turn on upstairs table lamp,
Okay.
or hey Google, turn off upstairs table lamp. So I would really like a switch on the wall to be able to control this as well. So it's time to say goodbye to both of these smart switches and replace them with the Zemismart smart switch. So now all I need to do is switch off the power and get to work. And remember guys, this is high voltage we're dealing with here, so I highly recommend getting a registered electrician to install this product for you, due to the risk involved when working around high voltage, which can be deadly. Okay guys, there's been a change of plan. Because this smart switch here is rectangular, it means I cannot replace it with my Zemismart switch, which is square. So this means I'm now going to have to replace my wave switch with my Zemismart smart switch. However, because my wave switch controls the lights on my roof, it now means I will need to use one of the outputs on my Zemismart smart switch. But as it turns out, this is probably better for the review anyway. So I've now wired up my Zemismart smart switch, and as you can see, only the L1 output is going to be used. L2 and L3 still remain unused. So all I need to do is use one live wire and one neutral wire to power the switch up for the other switches to work. Okay, so how does this Zemismart smart switch work then? Okay, so for example, if I wanted to turn the lights on my roof, which are not smart controlled lights, I would then need to connect the wires from the roof lights to one of the outputs of my smart switch, which in my case, I'm going to use L1 to do that. Then by pressing the switch that is linked to that output, which in this case is this big one here, one time, like that, would turn my lights on. And then to turn the lights off, you just press the same switch again, one time, and the lights would turn off. However, I'm still wanting to control my table lamp and my smart door with this smart switch. And of course, you won't find the wires in the wall for either of those devices, but both of those devices are smart control devices, and this is also a smart controlled switch. So that allows us to connect and control any of our smart home devices in our smart home using this switch. And to do this, all we need to do is just put power to the switch using one live wire and one neutral wire. So the switch is then powered up and the other 2 switches on the front can be used. Our smart home devices work over our home network, and our smart switch also works over our home network wirelessly. So therefore, to control my smart door and smart table lamp, the L2 and L3 outputs are not used because everything is controlled wirelessly. By the way, I think I forgot to also mention earlier that this smart switch here is also Zigbee. It's not Wi-Fi, but of course that makes no difference to us not having to use the L2 and L3 outputs at all. Okay, I'm now going to finish off this installation, and then it's time to put this to the test. Okay, and the installation is now finished. And Google was right. It looks great installed here on the wall of my office. I love this frameless design of it. Okay, so to test this out, I have set up 3 automations to control my smart home devices. 3? Yes, 3. Just because I'm using the L1 output of the smart switch doesn't mean I can't also add an automation to that switch as well. You can use the outputs and set up automations to trigger at the same time if you want to. So to make it more entertaining for you, I have done it this way. Okay, let's start with my table lamp, which I can now control with my Zemismart switch. I've decided to also add the wall light as well to turn on at the same time as the table lamp. So let's try it. And to do this, I use switch number 2 here. Press it once and everything turns on. Press it again and everything will turn off. Perfect, that works great. Now let's try something else. Okay, now I'm going to test out the lights on my roof, which are connected to the L1 output of the Zemismart smart switch, which of course is controlled by switch number 1. And this is where I have got a little bit more creative, because when the lights on my roof turn on, I have also set up the automation to close my smart curtains at the same time, and of course open the curtains again when the lights turn off. So a single press of switch number 1 will turn on my lights while at the same time close my curtains. And then pressing switch number 1 again will turn off the lights and open the curtains again at the same time. Okay, that works perfect. And now we are left with one more device to test. My smart door. I decided to connect my smart door to switch number 3. And again, just like everything else, this is also now being controlled using an automation setup in the Tuya app. So now, when I press switch number 3, my smart door opens. And when I press switch number 3 again, my smart door closes. Okay, that's perfect. I now have everything all working from this one Zemismart smart switch. So my setup was a success, and I now have one less switch mounted on the wall as well, which looks much tidier. Well, apart from the 2 screw holes from the other smart switch that I removed earlier on, but that's an easy fix. Hey Google, the smart switch is installed. What do you think?
Wow, that's a great job you have done there, buddy. I told you it would look good. And once again, and as always, Google was right. So is it now time for me to demonstrate it working for everyone here on YouTube?
Well, no, not exactly. I mean, I've already done it. The video is just about over Google. However, the smart switch from Zemismart is also supported by you. So, alright then, that's actually a good idea. Let's show everyone how you can control one of the switches. Let's see if you can open and close the smart door when I tell you to turn on and off switch number 3, which is what the Zemismart smart switch uses to control my smart door. Okay Google, turn on switch number 3. Oh, okay. That was actually pretty clever, Google. Let's see you close the door then. Hey Google, turn off switch number 3. Okay, that is actually quite impressive. Thanks for that, Google. This Zemismart smart switch actually works really great using you. Thanks for demonstrating that to all of us. And now that brings us to the end of another video. If you didn't understand how a smart switch worked before, then hopefully it makes a lot more sense to you now. Aren't smart switches awesome? It's amazing how and what you can control using them. I mean, you can control your entire smart home using them, as you have just seen. So what do you think of this Zemismart 3-gang smart switch? It works great, right? I personally really like it. I'll put a link down in the description below for anyone who wants to purchase one for themselves. I'll also put another link where you can check out Zemismart's range of other products as well. They have a lot of really cool smart home products, and all at great prices. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video or found it helpful in any way, then please like, share and subscribe to the channel, where you can watch even more videos, which I upload every week. And I hope to see you all in the next video.